So can you improve your eyesight naturally? Well, in this week's video, we're going to find out what's the truth and what doesn't work. Let's begin. So welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here before, we talk about everything medical and healthcare related, but most importantly indeed, we always look at the evidence. So everything in this channel is evidence-based and scientifically backed. So you know you can trust the information. So if you haven't been here before, all of the information is chaptered below in the description. So if you want to go straight to any point in the video, feel free to click on that description and click on the chapter. Also, if you learned something new today, if you found anything interesting in this week's video, please don't forget to click that like button because it's going to help me and it's going to help the video grow. So we have had so many comments to do a video on this topic, and it's taken a bit of time. You know, we had to do a lot of research to make sure all the information that we give is correct. Now, eyesight is something that is individual to each person, and as we age, our eyesight does deteriorate naturally. This is quite a normal process, and most people by the age of 65 will wear glasses. Now, there are lots of reasons why our eyesight deteriorates, some of which are completely out of our control. So for example, we've got genetics, we've got health conditions such as glaucoma, macular degeneration, cataracts. All of these are really out of our control. Certain things though, however, are within our control when it comes to eyesight deterioration and the speed of which our eyesight deteriorates. So for example, one of the main ones is UV rays, how much UV exposure we get. This can obviously speed things up. Also, another one, for example, is our diet, our lifestyle, how healthy we are. All of these can affect it. There are loads of things that we can do, and we're going to discuss them in the video. And on top of this, studies have shown that some of us can be at an increased risk of eyesight deterioration. So this would include those who are over 60, those with learning disabilities, those who are diabetic. All of these can increase our risk of eyesight deterioration. Also, certain ethnicities as well, studies have shown have been at a higher risk of eyesight deterioration, such as those of South Asian descent or African descent. So as we're all aware, eyesight is massively important. In fact, a reduction in eyesight has also been linked to increased risks of anxiety and depression as well. So bear that in mind as well. It's something that not a lot of people speak about, but our eyesight is so important, and there are things that we could potentially do that are going to help our eyesight, and certain things don't do anything at all. So in this video, we're really going to go through each and every single one of these things, which one works and which one doesn't. So let's begin now. So method number one, which you might have heard of, is the Bates method. You might have seen videos on it. It's a very popular method that is available online, everyone talks about, but unfortunately, looking at the studies and evidence, there is very little evidence supporting it. Now, the Bates method claims to be able to improve your eyesight if you regularly practice certain activity, with these including storing images of clear objects in your mind, resting the eyes, blinking with your eyes closed, and placing your palms over your eyes to let them experience darkness. And it was coined by William Bates in the 1920s and has been discussed several times over the decades, and you'll still even see many YouTube videos on it today. It's popular because it claims that vision can be corrected with a quick fix, but sadly there is very little evidence of this method working, with the majority of ophthalmologists rejecting its theories. And I would go as far as saying the Bates method can actually be quite dangerous for your eyesight as well. One of the things in the Bates method is called sunning. So it involves looking at the sun with your eyes closed, which you should never ever do, okay? You should never look at the sun directly at all. But even with your eyes closed, you shouldn't do that because it will damage your eyes, it will damage the tissue, and it will damage your eyesight. However, all of this said, there is one part within the Bates method that actually is quite good for eyesight and reducing our vision loss, okay? One of the parts in the Bates method is about resting your eyes and resting it more frequently. By resting our eyes, we are able to rest and reduce the strain in the eyes, and then hopefully this is going to reduce the amount of our vision loss in the future. The CDC also recommends that people should rest their eyes, okay? So this is an important part and one of the best things from the Bates method that actually does have evidence supporting it. So overall, my verdict on the Bates method is that it doesn't work. It can be quite dangerous as well, some parts of it, but only one part of it is quite decent, which does have evidence supporting it, and that is resting the eyes, and this can help with our vision and help to prevent future vision loss as well. Now, with all that said, let's move on to number two. Okay, so method number two is the 20-20-20 method, and I feel like I keep saying method, but this method has been recommended by the CDC to the American Academy of Ophthalmology, and it's been shown to help reduce the strain on the eyes and help prevent future loss of vision, okay? So it can help with reducing our vision further. So your next question probably is, what is the 20-20-20 method? Well, it's very simple. Let's say if you're on the computer and you're doing something where you're looking at it very closely, okay? Every 20 minutes, you need to look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds, okay? And this is, again, just gonna help reduce that eye strain, and it is gonna help potentially improve your eyesight by reducing the reduction of our eyesight, if that makes sense. So that's the 20-20-20 method in a nutshell. Now, this advice is particularly important in this day and age where a lot of us work or study from home, and we spend a lot of time staring at screens. In fact, one online poll even showed that here in the UK, 1 in 3 people felt they experienced deterioration of their vision as a result of more screen time during lockdown. Now, even though digital eye strain has not been proven to cause permanent eye damage, so permanent problems with our vision, it has been proven to cause tired eyes, achy eyes, and blurred vision, especially temporarily. So by doing this method, okay, by doing the 20-20 method, it is going to give us a quick fix for that temporary blur, okay, that we've been getting, okay? So it's going to give us that quick fix and improve that blurriness, reduce the blurriness, and help improve our vision. And whilst we're on the topic of digital eye strain, there are a few things as well that you can do as well that are going to help reduce that strain as well, apart from the 20-20 method. And that's some simple tips that you can do whilst you're working, let's say on a computer. Make sure that the room brightness is the same as the monitor's brightness. Also, make sure that you're arm's length away from the monitor minimum. This is again going to help. And lastly, make sure that your eyes, the top of your eyes, are in line with the top of the screen, okay? If it's higher or lower, it's going to increase that strain on the eyes. Okay, so now that we've debunked some myths, now let's learn how to improve your eyesight naturally. Please remember though, none of the things that we can do are going to reverse permanent eyesight damage. That's really important for you to remember, and it's also not going to reverse the need for glasses. However, it's important to remember that more than 50% of vision loss is preventable, and that's what we're going to discuss now. So let's move on to tip number 3, which is all about UV rays. Now, protecting your eyes is vital for improving your eyesight, and preventing sun damage is super critical for this. Just like we protect our skin from the sun, we also need to protect our eyes. You see, over time, the buildup of long-term sun damage has been shown to increase the risk of eye conditions in later life, such as cataracts and age-related macular degeneration, with both leading to impaired vision. So a great way to improve your eyesight naturally is to make sure you wear sunglasses when needed. Try and make sure that they're marked with a CE or BSEN mark, and that they state they block at least 99% of UVA and UVB light for the best protection. Okay, so I hope you're finding this information helpful so far. If you found any of this information helpful or new at all, please don't forget to click that like button. It's going to help me and it's going to help the video grow. So moving on to tip number 4. Tip number 4 is all about lifestyle and having a healthy lifestyle, okay? And this is going to talk about our diet, exercise that we do, whether you smoke or not, whether you're drinking a lot of alcohol. All of these can obviously affect our physical health and mental health, but they can also affect our eyesight health as well. And it's something that a lot of people don't discuss. So in terms of healthy lifestyle, the first thing you need to do is increase your fruit and vegetable intake. The reason I'm saying this is that studies have shown that by having a higher level of fruit and vegetable intake, it's going to reduce our risk of eyesight damage, in particular macular degeneration, okay, which is the leading cause of blindness here in the Western world. So we need to increase our fruit and vegetable intake, and it's obviously going to help us have a more healthy, balanced diet. Another thing that you can do as well, which studies have shown, is by increasing our fish, okay? If you're having fish, if you're not having fish, try to increase the amount of fish that we're having. This can also reduce your risk of macular degeneration by up to 40% as well. Another thing that we can do is regular exercise. Regular exercise is critical for oxygenating our optic nerve, and also don't forget sleep. Sleep is really important to let our eyes rest. They need to rest in terms of healing and recovering, okay? So that's it in a nutshell when it comes to lifestyle advice and things that we can do. Obviously, if you smoke, you need to quit. That's also a really important thing. And if you're drinking too much alcohol as well, we need to reduce that to the recommended amount, okay? I do have videos all about healthy, balanced diets, how to stop smoking, how much alcohol is the right amount, which I will leave a link to up here and in the description below too. Now, along with the tips in this video, you also need to make sure that you're getting regular checkups with your optician. We're talking every 2 years at a minimum. If they need to see you more often, they will let you know. But don't just think, oh, I've watched this video, now I know what to do, I know all about the methods that we can do, I know about what I need to eat and do. You still need to make sure that you're getting those regular optician visits. They need to check your eyes and make sure everything's okay. Now on top of these regular checks, there are also things that you should be aware of on when to seek medical advice. I'm gonna have a little box pop up here. Please feel free to give it a read. Pause the video now, give it a read, and make sure that you're aware when you need to seek medical advice. Also, please remember as well, if something doesn't feel right, if you just feel like something's off, again, seek medical attention. That's the most important thing, because your health is the most important thing. Okay, so that's it for this week's video. You are now an eyesight pro. You now know how to improve your eyesight naturally and what doesn't work and what does work, so you're a bit of a pro at it. I really hope that you found this information helpful. Tell your friends, tell your loved ones, tell everyone. Also, if you've got any of your own tips, if you know anything that works for you, please leave a comment below, because I'd love to read it, and I'm sure everyone else watching this video would love to as well. And as I always say at the end of every single video, always remember that you're awesome, and I will see you next week. To the American something. Super important, and making sure, I've had to borrow one of the girls' glasses from work, and I literally can't see anything right now. Hey guys, thanks for watching this week's video. Make sure to click that like, follow, or subscribe button now to stay up to date with new weekly videos.